Hello everyone and welcome to Royal Racehorse Academy. Now this world is a super flat world and I will list all of the mods, shader packs and texture packs down in the description below, so make sure to check that out before you ask in the comments. Now I'm just going to jump straight in. So first of all, the design that I went with was to enclose the entire barn with this sort of posh kind of wall. These are retextured purple terracotta blocks, along with some oak leaves, and along goes the wall. Now just be aware that when I built this, I built the wall along here first, then I built everything inside, and then I enclosed it, because if you make your kind of plot, if you mark out the plot area first, you might find that you're compensating and making things smaller than they should be, and you end up quite cramped. So I'd suggest that if you want to get down a wall design first, then make everything else inside, and then mark out your plot to make sure that everything fits nicely and you have enough room for everything. Now you might have noticed these sort of potted plants and you might be wondering what they are. So these are just straight up flower pots. They are from the Decocraft mod. Now I talked about the Decocraft in my how to make Minecraft into a horse game, and this mod is amazing. You'll be seeing lots of props from this mod and the detail on it is just amazing, and I loved kind of decorating everything. Now one of my biggest challenges for this build was to make things as colourful as possible, because my palette ended up being quite bland, and even though I had quite a lot of detail, I found that it was very lackluster in colour. But you can tell me whether or not you think I should change anything, or areas that I could add more colour or vibrancy. So as you walk in, this is the main gate, and to your right and left are two little ponds, and here I've just added a little lemon tree. Now the lemons are actually heads, and I've also talked about how to get the heads in both my Minecraft tack room ideas and my how to make Minecraft into a horse game. So feel free to check those out if you're wondering more about how to get a build like this. But the main road is basically cobblestone, and it's surrounded by this lovely hedge. Now I know for a fact that it's super annoying when you're leading a horse somewhere and they end up jumping up on here and standing on it, and it just looks a bit messy. So what I've gone and done is one block above the gap is where I've placed my barrier blocks. Now these blocks are invisible when you're not holding a barrier block, so they basically can't be seen, but this leaves a nice area so you can see through. But if you were to try and jump over, you can't, because of the block blocking you here, which is super useful, and it just makes the whole barn so much nicer to walk around, and you're not afraid that your horse is going to jump about and get stuck in places. So that's a really big recommendation from me. Now, as usual, my centerpiece, I've gone for a fountain. And if you're wondering, the floor block is actually lapis lazuli that's been retextured in this pack to look very nice. And the reason I picked this is because the royal blue is the colour of the academy. Now, if we go straight down the main road here, to our left is a flatwork arena that we can do warm-ups in. You can do some training. Now bear in mind, these are racehorses. These are horses trained for racing. So they're not going to be doing jumping, and they're not going to be doing dressage competitively, but flatwork is always very important when training a horse, as well as getting the riders used to the horses as well. So as we come to the main part of the build, which is of course the stables. And I think I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. I'll go through more of the details along here, but first I want to go into the main building. So here we've got our little rake outside, and then when we open the doors, we come into the tack and feed room. So on the inside, we've got a water cooler, we've got our little plant pot. Now this painting isn't actually in the texture pack. It's actually a black photo frame from the Mr. Crayfishes furniture mod that when you place down, you can put a link to a photo in. Now we've got some extra little things like the notebook and notepad, which I feel like every barn has, to write down lesson times and feed times and all things like this. Now this is meant to represent a tack box. Unfortunately, you can't actually use it, which I think is the one thing that kind of is a little bit annoying about this. But all in all, it looks pretty much much like a professional tack box. I've actually got 2 in here, 1 here and 1 there, and we've got workable light switches thanks to the Mr. Crayfishes furniture mod. Now this design is actually a completely vanilla design, so if you'd like to steal this, you're more than welcome to. And if you would like some more vanilla based designs, I do have a video entailing Minecraft tack room ideas that you can go and check out. Now we've got some cork boards up above and a nice little calendar, and I thought it would be pretty sweet to put some carrots in as well. And we've got our tack here, so we've got the horses saddles along here, bridle racks, and we've got some stuff up on the shelves. These shelves are absolutely awesome. I haven't used the Bibliocraft mod before, but I would definitely recommend it because it's an awesome mod. We've also got a little feed wheelbarrow, or you could use it as a mucking out wheelbarrow. This is again from the Decocraft mod, and these doors are my absolute favorite. Look, they're sliding doors. We'll go onto what's behind here a little bit later on. I also, along here, I've split up the banner for the Royal Racehorse Academy into 3 so that they can fit into the actual photo. It doesn't look amazing, but it does the job pretty well. And up here we've got kind of some medicines and things that we might need for the horses. Up the stairs though, this is our main kind of hall area. So of course at the academy we're going to have people staying here, and it's getting all rainy. Let me just fix that for 1 second. So of course people will be boarding at the academy, so we've got an area for people to do their research / homework. We've got a dining area where people can eat, and when they're having their morning breakfast, of course the kids will have to get up very, very early to start their training. We've got a little art easel and paint just in case, because this is an absolutely beautiful view from the outside, so I figured it might be some inspiration for doing a painting. This one looks quite ominous, but it's the one that comes on the easel, so it's pretty cool, I suppose. Then we go into the kitchen. Now I absolutely adore the kitchen for some reason. This is a mix of Mr. Crayfish's furniture mod and the Decocraft mod. So we've actually got a working cookie jar, which is awesome. I love things that actually are functional. We've got a working fridge and working freezer, as well as cupboard storage up here, and then we have little decoration bits like this chopping board. This oven does actually work, but then we've also got some soup on the stove, some knives, and this toaster actually works as well. You can put in slices of bread, and then some more storage cabinets here. And of course we've got our banner again here, and as well as a sofa, which I believe is actually from the Decocraft mod. And so after that, of course, we had to have I felt like it was kind of lacking some really beautiful grand lighting, so I went with a chandelier up here. We have this beautiful photo that came in the texture pack of this sort of rolling hills and trees. Absolutely gorgeous. I think this photo is one of my favorite paintings. Then inside we have the kind of dorm room. So this is the outfit. As you can see, it says helmet, the jockey shirt, jodhpurs and race boots. And over here we've just got our cabinets, so they've got the dressers, got some things to brush up with, got their alarm clock, and then we have the beds. Now you can actually sleep in this bed, so if you were running a multiplayer world and you did have some friends over, they can indeed use these beds. You've got some storage units, not actual storage, but these are just for decoration. I really like the addition of the books just above, and it's pretty much standard. And in here as well, I've put in some more of the uniform so that you can go in and grab some straight from the wardrobe, which I think is absolutely awesome. So other than that, I think it's a pretty simple-ish design in terms of the actual structure of the building, but I've gone and really decorated the heck out of this interior so that it looks really, really nice. So as we come down, I think I'm going to go outside first. So as we open the doors, these are actually the runs for all of the stables, so the horses can get some outside time without having to be turned straight out to the pasture, which I think is awesome. But out here is actually our fitness training area. So we've got some well, I guess you could see this as a yoga mat, or we've got some dumbbells, some weightlifting. I'm going to sound so silly because I don't actually know the words for these, but these weightlifting strength training things, as well as basketballs over here. These cones can be used for kind of jogging cones, so you can go in and out, a little bit like human pole bending, just to get some fitness up. Of course, this is purely decorational, but if you're into roleplay aspects of Minecraft World, then I would definitely recommend something like this, so that part of your routine could be fitness training and getting getting up to fitness because jockeys actually require a lot of strength. Now these look a bit weird because of the fact that they're clearly construction kind of materials, but I've actually used them as hurdles, and you can actually jump them, which is awesome. It just is a case of whether or not you can time the jumps correctly, which is an extra aspect to this kind of fitness training. Over here I had some extra space, so I really wanted to add a chicken coop. So inside I've just added some placeable eggs with the placeable items mod, as well as some Decocraft eggs as well. And we've got our chickens. See, these chickens are actually from, I believe the mod is called Realistic Animals, something like that. It will be listed below. This chicken is broken. Oh no, it's just back to front. Okay. As you can see, they look far more detailed than normal Minecraft chickens, and to be honest, I think they look a lot cuter as well. So that kind of does it for just behind here. So we'll go straight through to the other section where the horses are. So as you come through here, on your right and your left, now you can split this in any way you want. The horses don't have genders in my world, but if you wanted to add roleplay genders or even add a plugin on your server to add horse genders, then you could have mares this side, stallions this side, that sort of thing. So if we go inside, I think the one flaw of my design is I love these doors. I thought they were perfect, but unfortunately I can't open them, and if I put a button, then that would mean that I wouldn't be able to open both doors, which is pretty annoying. These are actually labels, so if you right click here, you can actually put blocks in and it will display the block. So you could put a name tag in if you wanted. I just thought the design looked really, really nice and added an extra bit of decoration. So I'm going to break these doors to get in, like an absolute professional, I know. The inside stalls are pretty plain, but they're also fully equipped with water and a hay net and a pathway to the outside. Now, I would definitely recommend putting in some gates or trapdoors so that you can decide whether or not the horses can go out into the runs, and I copy pasted all of the runs along here, so they've also got water and some grass to nibble on. These are retextured yellow terracotta to look like flax, which I absolutely love, but I would recommend either going with hay or wood if you were to have a stable without the yellow terracotta. So I'm just going to put these iron doors back, and for the front design I went for a big wide window and some nice flower pots. Again, these are from the Decocraft mod, and they're absolutely gorgeous. So these chests are also from the Decocraft mod, and inside I've equipped them with, I'll just pull these out so you can see the names of them. So we've got the, oops, and I've gone and thrown it. So we've got the horse information. This is just a stack of papers from the Decocraft mod that's been renamed, as well as the training saddle, a Duraplex ultralight saddle pad, and the breathable blanket premium. And every single one of these have that kit inside them, which I think is super awesome. So if you were role playing with some friends, everyone could have access to the horse and their supplies pretty much. Now you could go the extra step and really customize every single saddle for every horse, naming it a different thing, but I've gone and kind of copy pasted the standard because this is a training facility. Now what I think is awesome is you can get these first aid kits, which I've just placed on a shelf, because I figured in all barns you should always have a first aid kit. There's also one down the other end of the barn as well. This light switch controls these lights, as you can tell, and this area, now there is one on the other side, pretty much identical. Here we've got the grooming station, so you can actually bring a horse in, tie it up, and if you wanted to hose them down, you've got a shower head there. As I said before, I'm using these as the grooming kits. I've got some brushes and things just laying around here, and this section is actually the shoeing section. Again, this is completely optional. This isn't actually functional at all, but I kind of felt like I needed something extra, and I think a shoeing station would be really cool, since you get to use the anvil as well. So I think I'm going to go through here to showcase kind of what this section is. So this is an academy after all, and I'd like to think, so all the way around this entire barn is actually the racetrack. So this is the training track that starts here, goes all the way around, and ends the other side over there. So what I've done here is I've taken this kind of blank section and I've added some stairs, some chairs, and I've added the camera as well, because I'd like to think that for students that aren't perhaps working at the moment or are doing some research, they can take a seat here and watch the jockeys and their horses go past to really take some notes on form and rhythm and everything like this. Perhaps training vets might come here as well, and you can record your sessions as well as you're running walking past on your horse to kind of get some feedback on how to improve your stance and how to really improve as a jockey. Now again, this is a completely optional design, but I had some spare space and I wanted to really make it immersive. So we're going to move straight on to the paddock. So this is the only paddock of this shape that I have this side. Again, we just have the horses in here. Over this side, now this paddock is very special, but I will tell you why it's special in a little bit. But these horses all actually belong to somebody. Yep, they belong to somebody in real life. So I'm going to go through them in just a little bit. And if you would like your horse added to my next barn, comment down below your horse name, the horse breed, the horse coat color, and a little bit about them, like their personality, what they like to do, and your comment might be picked to add in my next barn. So that is this side of the actual stables. So it's almost exactly the same, that side minus that extra paddock. So we're going to go back up to the center. So let's say that you had your horse and you were leading it. This is the warm-up arena. I went for a grass round pen because I figured that would be really nice to have. Although if you wanted to make it even more realistic, I would suggest adding some dirt path kind of ringing around it to really show that it was being worked. And because let's face it, after horses go over grass, unless it's very high quality and the horses don't go across it that much, it's going to be a little bit dirty or muddy. So as you come around here after warming up, this is the startup arena. So you do some trots or canters around here to just get the horse worked out a little bit, and then you'd release them out onto the track, and the track will go all the way around past this section, the viewing section, all the way around the back, right by where you do the fitness training, and around the side. This side is probably the most barren, but you could add literally anything you wanted. You could have some farms here, some fields, extra paddocks. It's completely up to you. And after you come down this section, you finish in this little round pen over here. Now I added a little section over here, so these water buckets are for when the horses are finished and they need a drink. We've also got some hitch up posts here and a nice little chill area. So you might have some jockeys if they're running another horse or they're running the horse again. Oop, this one's running. So the cool thing about this Decocraft is the fact that sometimes the actual blocks can be used, which I think is really cool. But this section is mostly for just chilling. If you're doing some work on watching the form of the horse warming down, or you just needed an area to come and chill, this is the perfect place to come and do it, since you can also just step over this little barrier here and hitch your horse up as well. But in normal training, you'd finish up, and once you've done that, you can come all the way down to the Aqua therapy pool. Aqua therapy pools can come in a variation of different kind of types and shapes and sizes, but I went for the more sleek design of having a straight across, so you'd get the horse in the water here, you'd step up, and as you're walking along, again, this is the same thing where I've got the barrier blocks here, so you can't actually step by mistake onto the hedge, which I think is really nice, and you just lead them back and forth, and if you'd like to go back again, you can lead them around to do some extra aqua therapy training. But once you're done with them, you can go straight into this side where it's basically exactly the same as the other one. Here I've got our little ginger horse all tied up so she can demonstrate kind of what's happening. So again, you can use the shower heads, which I think is awesome, and if you wanted, you can put them back in their stalls, or you can put them straight out into the paddock. Now, believe it or not, that is pretty much it for the entire barn. This took me, I think, about a week in total, probably around, I want to say possibly 3 days in total of non-stop working, but of course I did do this over the course of a week, taking a few hours out every single day to work on this. As normal, you can take any of these designs and really take inspiration from them. I do not mind at all, but you will be noticing the fact that every single time I do a new barn tour, it's probably going to get a little bit more detailed and a little bit more modded as well. If you would like me to do a special episode where I do it purely with vanilla, I would be more than happy to do one of that. And thank you to everybody who suggested I do a racing barn. And next time I will be hoping to do another type of barn that is a little bit more abstract, and fantastical. So, now we're going to get onto the section where I show you guys whose horses are boarded at this barn at the Royal Racehorse Academy and the comments that came along with them. So again, if you would like your horse added to my next barn, put some information down there. The coat is really, really important so that I can get the colour of them correct, and comment them down below. But without any further ado, let's go see the horses. First up, we have Summer, added by HorseGirl66-Gaming, who is an Arabian/Welsh mare whose colour is Palomino and the show name is Sunny Days. Then we have Blaze, submitted by Sandra, and I can't say her last name, who is a Welsh Section C gelding. Next we have Pablo, submitted by Jake the State Farm, who is a Connemara gelding, age 7, whose show name is Secretariat's Choice. Our next horse is Bell Chuck, added by Ellen Nibakin, I hope I said that correctly, who is an American saddlebred mare. Next we have Chief, whose show name is Chief Warrior, who is a thoroughbred chestnut, age 12, submitted by Chief for Life. Then we have Mouse, submitted by Zara Jackson, who is a gelding Arab cross. Next we have Florian, submitted by Ava Skirkis, who is a Blood Bay Hanoverian, whose show name is Florian's Fire Jumper. Next we have Taco, submitted by Jumping Free, who is a thoroughbred gelding. Next we have Willow, who was submitted by Libby Boyle, whose show name is Warpaint. They are a Hanoverian mare aged 8. And finally we have Star, submitted by the Hebdex Project, whose show name is Starry Sky. They are an Arabian mare. So that is it for the Royal Racehorse Academy. Let me know any barns you would like to see in the future, and feel free to take any inspiration you want from this barn. So, I hope you guys enjoyed. Stay positive, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye!